A mayoral candidate being challenged. The saga surrounding embattled South suburban politician Tiffany Henyard continues.
Mayoral candidate will be on the general election ballot despite an attempt to block her candidacy by an ally of current Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who is...
In a shocking twist that has the South suburbs buzzing, embattled Mayor Tiffany Henyard finds herself at the center of chaos, controversy, and what some are calling the final chapter of her political career. Once hailed as a trailblazer, the youngest and first female mayor of Dolton, Henyard, now seems to be retreating into the shadows as the walls close in. With federal investigations looming, lawsuits piling up, and a community fed up with her leadership, Henyard's reign is unraveling faster than anyone could have predicted. And the drama? It's only just beginning. Let's dive into the mess that has made headlines for weeks. Tiffany Henyard was once seen as a rising star, a beacon of hope for Dolton's struggling community. But instead of using her position to uplift the village and Thornton Township, where she also serves as supervisor, Henyard's tenure has been marred by allegations of financial mismanagement, corruption, and outright neglect. From taxpayer-funded luxury trips to missing meetings during a government shutdown, her actions, or lack thereof, have left residents outraged. And the worst part? Henyard doesn't seem to care.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard was not at the hearing here today. Neither was her attorney, and she was not made available for a comment.
This week, Henyard skipped 2 major meetings in one day, including an emergency session in Thornton Township meant to address the township's ongoing insurance crisis. Without insurance, critical services like senior transportation, food assistance, and even government building operations have come to a screeching halt. Residents are furious, with one local calling her absence a slap in the face to everyone who relies on these services. Trustee Chris Gonzalez summed it up perfectly, saying we're on a toll road of chaos right now, and unfortunately, the residents are the ones paying the toll. But here's where the story takes a bizarre turn. Henyard cited credible threats as the reason she didn't attend the meetings, claiming she was concerned for her safety. Yet, no evidence of these supposed threats has been presented. Senior trustee Jason House, who has emerged as one of Henyard's fiercest critics, wasn't buying it. The Board of Trustees received no information about any credible threats, he said, adding that the meeting went on without her because the village's business couldn't be put on hold any longer. Residents attending the meeting were equally skeptical, with one person asking, if she's so scared, why hasn't she stepped down? She's clearly not doing the job she was elected to do.
You didn't run out of this the right way. Illegal!
Public frustration with Henyard has reached a breaking point. In Dolton, protests erupted outside a village board meeting she failed to attend as residents demanded accountability. Protesters expressed disappointment, accusing her of embarrassing the village and calling for her resignation. Some likened her leadership to a chaotic reality show, describing it as more of a circus than a government. The dissatisfaction extends beyond Dolton, with Thornton Township residents also voicing anger as Henyard continues her efforts to regain a spot on the ballot for the supervisor position after being removed in a controversial Democratic caucus vote last month.
Jordan.
It's about democracy and it's about hypocrisy.
I really think it's very hypocritical.
Criticism has intensified as residents highlight that Henyard's absence from meetings isn't just a political concern, but a legal issue. As mayor of Dolton and supervisor of Thornton Township, she is legally obligated to fulfill her public duties. Protesters accused her of neglecting responsibilities, with some calling for her removal from office due to repeated absences, which they view as dereliction of duty. Demands for accountability are growing louder as frustration mounts. Meanwhile, Henyard's critics have accused her of deliberately avoiding these meetings to dodge difficult questions from both trustees and the public. Her absence during the Thornton Township emergency session, for example, left the board unable to resolve the insurance crisis, which continues to impact hundreds of residents. Trustee Chris Gonzalez didn't mince words, saying this isn't just politics anymore. This is about people's lives. We can't keep stalling while our seniors and families suffer. The frustration is palpable, and many believe Henyard's strategy of avoidance is a sign that she knows her days in office are numbered.
Again, no comment from Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Voters here will first head to the polls in February for the primary election, then the general mayoral election is...
But Henyard supporters argue that the blame doesn't rest solely on her shoulders. Some have claimed that the dysfunction in Dolton and Thornton Township is the result of years of entrenched political rivalries and systemic issues that existed long before Henyard came into power. This isn't just about Tiffany, said one supporter outside a recent township meeting. This is about a broken system that needs fixing. She's not perfect, but at least she's trying. However, even some of her former allies are beginning to distance themselves, citing her mounting scandals and legal troubles as too big of a distraction for the community to bear. The controversial caucus has become a focal point of political drama. Henyard's supporters claimed they were locked out of the venue while State Senator Napoleon Harris and his allies secured a slate of candidates, including Harris himself, to replace her as supervisor. Henyard has labeled the process as illegal and manipulative, filing multiple lawsuits to contest the results. However, critics accuse her of hypocrisy, citing her own alleged tactics of voter suppression and power grabs in Dolton. Residents question her outrage, pointing out the inconsistency in her actions.
Manner of fights in Thornton Township and in Dolton. Except in one case, Tiffany Henyard wants on a ballot, while in another, a Henyard ally was looking to keep her opponent off.
Henyard has also been active on the legal front, filing lawsuits against caucus organizers, the Thornton Township Democratic Party, and even her own trustees in Dolton, accusing them of conspiring to diminish her authority. These legal battles, however, have sparked concerns about their financial burden. Many suspect taxpayer money is funding these efforts, with residents demanding transparency and accountability over whether public funds are being used to cover legal expenses. Frustration continues to grow over the potential misuse of public resources.
The vote is unanimous. The objector's petition has been withdrawn.
Can't do that. Can't contest everyone that come you.
The financial mismanagement allegations don't stop there. Henyard has been under federal scrutiny for months, with investigators reportedly looking into everything from unaccounted for funds to lavish spending on trips and events. One particularly egregious example, an £85,000 concert that barely anyone attended. And let's not forget the £40,000 spent on Amazon purchases in a single day, none of which has been accounted for. Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot's limited audit of Dolton's finances revealed a staggering deficit of £365 million in the village's general fund.
It's manipulation. Nobody likes being manipulated, and when you get here, you know that's exactly what's happening.
With all this drama, it's no wonder Henyard's political allies are dropping like flies. Even her attorney, Max Solomon, recently tried to withdraw from representing her in an eviction case involving back rent on a property she allegedly abandoned. The case, which has been dragging on since September, is just another example of the chaos surrounding Henyard. According to court documents, Henyard and a co-tenant owed over £13,000 in rent and damages. Solomon's motion to withdraw didn't specify why he wanted out, but let's face it, representing Henyard at this point is like trying to keep a sinking ship afloat.
We need some action, somebody that's actually going to do their job. How about that? Somebody that's come in, work for the people, not themselves, and have pictures all over the place.
As the primary election approaches, Henyard is running out of options and allies. Her main opponent, Jason House, has been gaining momentum, positioning himself as the leader Dolton needs to restore order and trust. House, a lifelong resident of the village, has made ethics reform and financial transparency the cornerstones of his campaign. "We need someone who's going to put the people first, not their own interests," he said in a recent statement. And judging by the crowd at the last board meeting, many residents agree.
Well, she's one of the most recognizable faces that's been on the news lately. I'm talking about the mayor of Dolton, Tiffany Henyard.
And all of social media.
Yes, but while House is focused on moving forward, Henyard seems stuck in the past, clinging to power even as her support dwindles. Her repeated absences from meetings, her refusal to address the insurance crisis, and her ongoing legal battles have left many wondering, what's her endgame? Is she hoping to ride out the storm and somehow salvage her career? Or is she simply buying time before the inevitable? One thing is clear, the clock is ticking, and Henyard's days in office appear to be numbered.
Just a little bit of both. A little bit of both.
Wow.
Let's talk about the title of this, because it's called Super Mayor, and that is what Tiffany Henyard calls herself?
The fan reactions to Henyard's downfall have been brutal. One commenter summed up the general sentiment perfectly. She had the golden opportunity to do something amazing in Dolton as a young Black woman, yet she chose to throw it all away because her ego got in the way. Disgraceful. Another pointed to a recent scandal involving a trustee's alleged misconduct during a Vegas trip, saying, "I believe she missed those meetings because the night before, the audio and FaceTime from the phone call of Trustee Holmes bragging about his shameful activities leaked." She's dodging the fallout. As the drama continues to unfold, residents are left to pick up the pieces of a government in shambles. Thornton Township's insurance crisis remains unresolved, leaving vulnerable populations without essential services. Dolton's finances are in tatters, with no clear plan to address the deficit. And with Henyard refusing to step down, the road to recovery looks long and uncertain. But there is hope. As one resident put it during the protest, "We've been through tough times before, and we'll get through this too. But first, we need to clean house." So, what do you think? Will Tiffany Henyard finally face the consequences of her actions? Or will she find a way to cling to power? And with the primary election just weeks away, who do you think has what it takes to lead Dolton and Thornton Township into a brighter future? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this unfolding saga. Stay tuned, because if there's one thing we've learned about Tiffany Henyard, it's that the drama is far from over.